Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to this Friday's sharing of Harmonize to Energize. My name is Terry Matthews. I worked as a JIN SHIN JYUTSU practitioner and self-help teacher for more years than I can remember, but I think it's about 30 years. And it's my delight to share self-help with the JIN SHIN JYUTSU community. And when the occasion arises, welcome presenters from the community. Like last week, we had Tom from Colorado doing a sharing and a presentation, which was very interesting. When I watched it, because I wasn't present live, I learned quite a lot myself. There were some self-help approaches that I hadn't so far remembered. So thank you, Tom. Welcome anyone who's completely new. This art is an art of harmonizing life energy.
Two for me.
No, here is A plus M.
Ah.
Can you mute yourself, whoever that is? Yeah.
That's me, I will.
Okay. So JIN SHIN JYUTSU is an art of harmonizing life energy as it moves or not congruently through the body. And it's the or not that we adjust with our hands, fingers, and thumbs in JIN SHIN. And we place them on what we call safety energy locks. They're expanded versions, if you like, of what the acupuncturists call points. Major differences, they're the size, the width of your particular palm of the hand. And there's 26 of them, left and right of the spine, 3 in the arms. We place our hands, fingers, and thumbs on them, and this induces the energy to move through any resistances in our body. And there are various pathways, recipes to accomplish this and to help any projects, which is a softer word for any health issues you may have, helps them to harmonize. And that's what we're looking for, harmony. JIN SHIN JYUTSU is an art of harmony, an art of compassion, an art of longevity, and it's great. It works. And so we are blessed today to have another mystery presenter. You know, when it rains, it really pours with all these blessings. You know, for a while I was wondering where everyone who wanted to present was. People were saying yes, and then never heard from them. But we seem to be on a roll at the moment. So for what we are about to receive, may we be truly grateful. And today's mystery presenter is, hello, today, where are you? Where are you? Well, that's too funny. We had a mystery presenter. Oh, yeah, yes, we do. We have a mystery presenter. Yes. Where'd you go? Can't hear you. You're can't hear you. Oh, here we go. Say something. Sarah, can't hear you.
About now, can you hear me now?
Yes, you were unmuted, Aaron. So welcome to probably a familiar face to many of you, because Sarah has graciously co-hosted on H2E several times. It's always a pleasure for me. I used to teach self-help classes with Sarah in the good old days, and she's taught me a lot, and she continues to teach me and many other people a lot. So I'm going to get out of the way and give the whole screen to Sarah.
Terry, I thought we were doing spleen flow together. Why don't you start it and then I'll add.
That's a surprise. I thought you were doing the spleen flow and I was going to watch.
Okay, well, and my co-hosts, can I share my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
So the spleen flow is one of my favorites. It's in the self-help books and it's in the regular textbook. And the spleen flow helps us through every season. So any change of season, we sometimes refer to the hottest summer, but it's really that late fall, that early, any change of season. So late winter, late fall, late spring, late summer, we can use a spleen flow. And it actually has a charge of 18 days in every season. And so it's a fabulous flow. Anytime you're going through changes, helps with the whole immune system. It's just a wonderful flow that can be utilized. And so, Terry, let's share this. Tell me a little bit what you'd like to hear about spleen flow, and then I can go to my slides if you want, but I'd love to hear what you think about the spleen flow. We've taught this together a lot.
Thank you for putting me on the spot.
I'm going to put Johnny on the spot.
Well, for me, spleen is that element of the digestion which gives us the fire, the heat to digest both our ideas mentally and our food physically. And it's that secondary source of energy, that solar energy. And if I sound as though I've just been reading off a crib sheet, I do not have one. That sounded probably a little bit up here. I like to think that the spleen brings its energy up to warm the heart. And, when you think about those of you that have studied JIN SHIN JYUTSU in any depth, text 1, text 2, will know about the lumbar circle. The spleen acts as an escape route for the heat of the heart, or the fire of the heart energy, and the water of the kidney energy. So I kind of think it's important that it sits between those two and acts in that way, as a way of releasing blockages as well as giving. The sun gives, and it also takes away blockages. That's my 5 pound worth. Over to you.
Also, to play off of what you just said, Mary used to say the spleen flow is like the solar energy battery, or like giving a warm bath to all the other organs. The energy supplies the energy that's needed to all the other organs so they can do their job. And so when I think about it that way, for me, it's also such a source of nourishment. And we look at our first step, spleen and stomach, and it really does have a lot to do with how we nourish ourselves and nourish the heart. And so what a lovely flow that we can utilize. So I'm going to show some slides, and then let's jump right into the spleen flow, because we can talk about it all day long, but to actually experience it, I think is really, oh, wait a minute. I clicked the wrong button. Share this screen. And
Here we are again.
I did this drawing of the spleen flow. To me is like the solar energy battery. And you're right, it comes up and it warms. Mary says this is a great flow for any prolapse, anything that's starting to sag or hang down. You want to use the spleen flow. And I'm going to just show another page that I found out of the Yellow Emperor's Guide. And it says the spleen belongs to the earth, which pertains to the center, and it manifests for 18 days at the end of each of the 4 seasons. Does not pertain to any season of its own. Therefore, we often say late summer or Indian summer, but it also could apply to late winter, late spring, and late autumn. So truly, any time of the season, you can utilize this flow. And gonna, for some reason, not letting me move. Hold on, sorry, I froze. Hold on one second. See if I can get to it in my book. I want to show the flow.
Is that Sweet Sophie under the table there?
Actually, it's Titus.
Oh,
So, oh, you can't see it yet because I didn't share. All right, here we go. All right. So here's the spleen flow in our self-help book. On page 39, here's what we start with the spleen flow. So you can take your left hand, palm side, whichever is most comfortable, to the base of the coccyx. And so I'm going to start with my left hand onto the coccyx, and then the inside hand is going to go to the inner ankle. And if you're not able to reach the inner ankle, you can hold safety energy lock 1. And that's one of the things that I love that Mary utilized, is that if you weren't able to reach, she always gave you an alternative. And so if you're not able to reach the 1, you could also use the pubic bone. But if the first 2 steps of the spleen flow are the coccyx and the inner ankle, that she gives lots of alternatives. And so I'm going to stop my share and just make it big on the screen. So if I were holding the coccyx and then the inner ankle, those are the first 2 steps of the spleen flow. And the coccyx has a relationship to our 3rd depth, gallbladder and liver, which is the key energy for revitalizing the body. And safety energy lock 5 means to renew the body. And so you can regeneration, you can utilize safety energy lock 5. Sometimes Mary would say 5 is the number that represents man. And so if you think about man regenerating or renewing of the body, and then 3rd depth, the key energy we need. And when I think about 3rd depth, it's that quintessence, the 4 elements come together all as one. So let's close our eyes for a moment. And if you're not able to reach the inner ankle, you can always fold the inside of the knee. But if you are able to reach, and that's comfortable for you, it's inside of the inner ankle with the tailbone. And Terry had a suggestion to drop our shoulders and exhale. Let's just quietly connect with those places of the body and with your breath. So as you exhale and inhale, drop your shoulders, bow the head, and be the smile. And then we're going to remove the hand that's on the ankle and the right hand to the left 14 area, or the waistline. And the 14 helps us to sustain and maintain the equilibrium of the body. When you think about what's here at the 14 area, you have spleen, stomach, pancreas on this side, and on the right side you have liver and gallbladder and stomach. So you've got really the foundation for digestion, for purifying the blood, right here at your fingertips. How we sustain and maintain equilibrium. And then the hand that was on the coccyx is going to move to safety energy lock 13. 13, love thy enemy. I looked up that in the dictionary one time and it said boredom is the great enemy of happiness. And really, when I think about 13, I think about opening the whole creative process. And this is one of my favorite holds for a quick step for the spleen flow. Just close your eyes for a moment as you exhale and inhale and see how this hold feels. For me, I feel so embraced. And I love, love, love the spleen flow. Really powerful helper for the immune system. It's our solar energy battery. Helps to warm all the other organs so they can do their job. And as Terry mentioned, Terry used to say that when there's a lot of chatter going on in the head, you could use a spleen flow. If you're not able to sleep or calm down, use a spleen flow. If it's the same thought going over and over and over, stomach flow. But when it's that almost like a nervous system energetic, you can utilize the spleen flow. Help us to relax, help us to sleep if you're unable to sleep because you've got that anxious energy. And I love how these two steps feel and just embracing these. And then this hand to 22. And 22, amalgamation. All the flows go through 22. And the 22 is an ancient symbol for the breath, the down the front and up the back, the alpha, the omega. So you can hold the 22s. And focusing on the exhaling, the letting go. My words these days for the exhale are let go. And my words for the inhale are slow down. Exhale, let go. The inhaling, the receiving, slow down. Be the breath I am in this moment right now. And for a moment, let's just let our hands rest on our legs or by your side. See how you received that side of the spleen flow. Scan your body with your exhaling and inhaling. Exhale, let go. Inhale, slow down. Let's do the other side of this flow. So this time we'll take the right hand to the coccyx. We'll put the left hand on the inside ankle, the 5. If you're not able to reach the inside ankle, you can always hold the inside of the knee. But if you are able to reach 5, regeneration, the renewing, and 5 represents man. So the regeneration or renewing of man helps us to renew our bodies. And holding the coccyx brings in that key energy of our 3rd depth, that quintessence. The 4 elements come together. Again, exhaling from head to toe and toe to head. With each exhale, let go. And with each receiving of that breath, slow down. Mary says that place between the exhale and the inhale is where life is. And then the hand that's on the ankle. So my left hand's going to go to the right 14. And on this side, we have liver, gallbladder. Again, 3rd depth, that key energy. So that we can breathe easy. And then we'll take our right hand to the 13 on the left side. Again, this is my favorite quick step hold for the spleen flow. Feels like such a lovely embrace. A different kind of hug than our big hug. For me, this just feels like a spleen hug. And the spleen flow helps the whole immune system. 13 helps with our whole creative process. Love thy enemy. Mary said 13 is the number of the Creator. Yourself exhale and inhale. Drop your shoulders, bow the head, and be the inner smile of your spleen. And then we'll take the right hand. And I usually get my thumb in underneath the underarm and the fingertips right there at that 22, just below the clavicle. Amalgamation, all the flows go through there. All inclusive. It represents the breath, the down the front, the up the back. Terry, what else do you want to say about the spleen flow?
Well, for me, it is indeed very nurturing. And I like that idea of a form of a spleen hug, very much so. Yeah. And, you know, when we talk about JIN SHIN JYUTSU, as I mentioned at the beginning, definitions, we talk about an art of compassion. And I was reading somewhere in a book, The Law of the Five Elements. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Chinese medicine, which, by the way, folks, Jiro Murai did study. Not a lot is often said about Jiro Murai's background, but so I'm told. He did, in fact, study the Yellow Emperor, which is the basis of Chinese medicine. Anyway, long story short, in this book I have The Law of the Five Elements. The spleen is also described as facilitating the energy of compassion. Had you heard that?
Yeah, that's a lovely way to put it.
So I think, you know, when we open ourselves up to that solar portal of the spleen, which nourishes us throughout all the seasons, we're probably given the opportunity to witness all the different aspects of the seasons and the changes, the up and the down, the yin and the yang. And I can imagine that over a period of time, that will help us develop a nurturing quality towards the planet, towards others, and help us understand why compassion for ourselves, as well as others, is an important part of being healthy.
And Terry, just want to feed off of that. It's also on the qualities of the depth chart sheet, which is from Yellow Emperors. Spleen and stomach are part of the earth. And earth, our grounding, our home for us all, our nourishment for us all. And when I think about in the self-help books, it can be worry or anxiety or distraction or preoccupation. And the virtue is our capacity to be present, our capacity to show up. And so really, I feel like that's another quality that comes through with the spleen flow. Our capacity to show up and be present, to be grounded and say, I'm right here, right now. So another message that I think we get from the spleen.
Yeah, I think it plays a role in helping us to nourish our thinking processes and clarify them alongside fourth depth kidney and, you know, like the janitor work. And therefore, our thinking generally becomes clearer and more compassionate, that relationship with the mind.
It's also, Mary used to say, if you have any studying, memorizing, spleen flow, right? And also it helps the voice and throat. So really powerful flow.
Singers, yeah.
And a quick step that you can do if you don't have time, although everybody has time for the spleen hug, right? But another quick thing that you could do, you can hold the thumb. You could hold each of the thumbs. You could spend 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here. And there's your hour session. Hold the thumbs. Really powerful way also as a quick step to help us with the spleen flow. All right. Should we?
Just to mention there, I was hosting Sarah with Jill last week, and up until last week, I didn't realize that Mary had said if the thumb was in order, everything else would be, but that it was a representation of second depth lung. And I had been thinking all along, I'm sure the spleen is part of that because of that season less, or, you know, going through with the seasons and circuit. But that was a complete revelation to me. I don't know why, but I don't remember ever hearing that before.
Yeah, well, in the self-help book, it says if it's referred to as the leader of the parade, if it's in step, all else will follow the leader. And so truly, I feel like we can get our thumbs in harmony, That was one of Mary's messages. She had it on the front of her building when you'd walk in, a carved placard. She had it in the cover of every self-help book, hold the thumbs. Can't tell you how many times I'd like go to have a session and I'd want her to write some special flow for me and she'd say, hold your thumbs. And now I tell people all the time, hold your thumbs. And now I understand the message. It took me years to get, but I really love holding the thumbs. It's a great way to facilitate the energetic of our first step, earth, spleen, stomach function, energy. So do we want to open for questions, Terry? Any
Questions?
questions? I see somebody raised hand. That's why.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm just following your lead on this. So whoever that was.
Rennie, do you want to just unmute and ask your question?
Well, it's not about the spleen flow, so I don't know if you want to take it.
That's okay. We'll take questions. Any
Sarah will take questions. I will
Okay.
applaud.
Self-help, opposite fingers and toes. Can you show me how to do that?
self-help, opposite fingers and toes. Oh, I wish I had a body laying on my table. That would be my favorite way. I usually sit on the side where the person's thumb is. So I would hold the thumb of the side I'm sitting on and reach to the opposite little toe.
Self-help, Sarah.
Oh, self-help? How do I do it on myself? You want to see one of the things Mary showed me for self-help? I'm going to take off my socks and I'm going to have to move this back.
You have a fan. You have more than one fan, I'm sure.
Here we go. This one time Mary was sitting and her tush wasn't even hitting the ground. And she went like this with her little finger to the big toe, ring finger to the eye toe, middle finger, index to the ring, and thumb to the little toe. And she was holding like this. She was holding like that, but she was squatted, down this way, and her tush didn't even hit the ground. So she was holding those. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Opposite fingers and toes." And that was one of her ways in which she would hold and play with opposite fingers and toes. However, if you're not able to do it that way, you certainly can go through each of the fingers individually, all by themselves. Each finger, just walk through and hold them. Go through each of the toes of the opposite foot and hold each one. Because really, and I've seen some people hold this way. And on yourself, I would hold them each individually. And I would teach somebody in your household how to do opposite fingers and toes on you. Really. I mean, that's the beauty of, invite a new best friend for lunch and teach them how to do opposite fingers and toes and then have them do it on you. All my girlfriends that used to say, "Let's go for lunch." I'm like, "Come over and have a session." Now they're all practitioners, and God, I love it when we can share JIN SHIN JYUTSU sessions.
Okay, thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Great teaching ideas. Just to say, Winnie, I didn't catch whether Sarah said that you can cross your hands, but you can also cross your feet to do that self-help. Did you say that? I'm not sure.
No.
Yeah, but you can either cross your hands or cross your feet. Yeah,
what's he? Yeah. Now
that's one way, but then you can cross your feet and do it.
So if you're crossing I don't think I understand that.
So when you could also hold it this way.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying. If your feet were If you're sitting this way,
Flexible feet, yogini feet. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And
the way that I saw Mary do it was
yeah, no, I mean,
Well-
I just thought I'd mention that in case you wondered. And I've also experimented because really, to me, what's happening there is mediation, bringing left and right together at the same time. You could do it same side, which would be supervisor. So you could do left thumb to left little toe. That, you know, it's possible, but that's probably more one that you would do on somebody else. So anyway, that's my total contribution to that question.
Okay, well,
Done.
look, this is what, oh, shoot.
There you are,
What,
Lee.
what I've been doing, I've been holding, with my right hand, I've been starting with my little toe. And then I've been
Can you
doing
show
this.
us?
I can't,
you can use this like that. Absolutely.
can do that and hold my opposite foot. Hold it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, all right. Got it. So I was doing it, but I thought, oh, this can't be right.
That's another really lovely way, Winnie.
Okay,
Don't you
Good.
just love the flexibility of the art?
well,
Um,
it's the flexibility of Sarah. I mean, I couldn't do what she was doing there, not a chance. So,
Oh,
Practice makes progress. I'll take you off the spotlight. Just whoops.
yeah, okay.
Here we go. So there you go. Oh, so here we are. Just past 37 past 11. Now, this is Sarah's presentation. So Sarah, would you like to ask any more questions or suggest anything, or what would you like to do now?
does anyone have any other questions? What time do we have?
Oh, it's only 11:37. You know, if there are any more questions, folks, Sarah can field them and I will support the best I can. And we can also talk about upcoming classes if you wish. And we can also ask who's got a birthday or who's got a particular project they want to work with, and we can offer you the circle of light. Over to you, Sarah.
Okay.
Today's my birthday.
Wait a
Is that
minute.
Renee?
Yes, today's my birthday. Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is that Renee?
Yes. Yes. So, it's my 70th turn around the sun. So, what would you recommend for a self-help?
Umbilicus flow.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you said that. Philomena Julie, decades ago, have told me, you must do the umbilicus flow. That came up a few days ago in my mind, how I've not been doing the umbilicus flow. And so I come here and the universe presents me with the umbilicus flow. So it is. Thank you.
An umbilicus flow, I'm going to just say why. Here we are, you know, I'm 64, I'll be 65 this year or next year. And as I come into those older ages and I'm like, oh, okay, what do I want to do with the rest of my remaining years? And to me, umbilicus flow, how we use the gifts we are given. And to me, umbilicus flow really helps us to nurture our gift and be who we are. And as, you know, to happy birthday, 70 years old. And so to me, umbilicus flow would be a really lovely one. And there's a wonderful self-help umbilicus flow. I can pull that up on the screen so you can see it.
I
And-
think I probably have it. I
Yeah.
probably have it in my book. Yeah.
And the self-help of that is so lovely to do on a regular basis. And
Okay.
the other one that I absolutely love is reverse and increase of the fourth depth. So reverse and increase of fourth depth and umbilicus flow. When I look at the reversing and increasing of fourth depth, anyone, Mary used to say, anybody who has a physical body needs this flow. And
Mhm.
really, to be in motion, to be in movement, and be in movement in a flowing, moving way, I want to use reverse and increase of that fourth.
Okay.
And truly, umbilicus, how we use all the gifts we are given. So those two flows would highly, I spark at those two in terms of.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting in the fourth depth relationship there, because the sign of Scorpio, which I assume you are, Renee, governs the kidneys, which is fourth depth, of course. Yeah, so some good advice.
Yes. Yes, I am a Scorpio. Yes.
Yeah, kidneys. Yeah.
Okay. Also, yes, I do have some kidney issues that I'm aware of, kidney function issues. So,
Yeah, reversing, increasing fourth depth. Way to go. And
okay.
yeah. That's
Thank
brilliant,
you so
really,
much.
because you've got sixth and fourth depth there, fourth bridging to sixth depth. You're doing both. Perfect.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
see Tom's hand up also.
Yeah, Tom.
Can you suggest something for post-polio syndrome?
Well, how is it showing up for the person? I have some canned answers that I would go to immediately. One is mediator, and I'd also use that reverse and increase of fourth depth just because of the muscular
Right.
atrophying and things that happen that way with the muscles.
The muscles are pain, all the symptoms, are active, and my muscles are painful.
Is this for you, Tom?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, post polio. Wow. Okay.
Well,
So
I had polio at 10, and I'm 79, and I've been having all those symptoms, the sore, all the muscles sore and everything. Been trying different things, but it all clicks on one.
yeah, so also reverse and increase of that fourth depth, and I love mediator flow.
Too. Both of those.
Mediator flow is so dynamic in terms of bridging the body, getting movement and action into a harmonized relationship.
Thank you.
Yeah. Come on over, Tom, I'll do them.
A long trip, but it's a good one.
Yeah, I miss you. Come on over.
I'd love to.
Talking of muscles, Sarah, have you or Stan discussed why in Chinese medicine they give the governance of the muscles to the spleen, whereas we give it to fourth depth, bladder, kidney? Has that ever been discussed?
I think both are true. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a one or the other. I think those Mary referred to spleen as helping like the solar energy battery for all the organs. And so truly, if it's lifting and moving, if somebody's really heavy in their body, we use a spleen flow. So I think both would be true.
Yeah, there's just a different emphasis.
Mhm.
Yeah. Excellent, wonderful. I think somebody else was asking a question. Let's have a look. Sue, do you want to speak out? Do you want to unmute yourself? You're asking about recommendations on flows for chronic mold and Lyme disease.
Sure, I was just wanting to ask about just, if anything general for flows that you would recommend for, mold toxicity and Lyme's disease, a big part of it is malabsorption and digestion, not really working very well.
So one of the things I would do, fingers a finger breadth apart, and you get in between each of the intercostals and the whole lymph system. I'm going to grab a book. Whole lymph system. It's like a string of pearls. So that spleen flow that we did today is going to be a really powerful helper. And I'm going to pop open a book that shows the lymph system. And the spleen is in charge of all that, but look at the string of pearls so that when we get in between each of those intercostals and look at all of the action in the lymph system, and just show the whole thing. And the spleen, it's one of our major defenses. The thymus, another major defense. So when I think about when Mary would say fingers a finger breadth apart and get in between each of the intercostals. And so that would be another really powerful helper. And we use that whole string of pearls in second method correction. That might be another really powerful helper. And I would use the actual 13 flow, but I'd also use this as a self-help. You can have your thumbs on the 22s, fingertips in. Mary also showed it this way where she'd interlace the fingers and get it and fall asleep this way at night. And so another powerful helper.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And when I just thinking about you and resonating, I'd also go to 3 and 11 and the 15.
Okay.
3 is our respiratory helper, 15 to help wash our hearts with laughter and joy, 11 and 3 help us to unload and receive that breath. And you could also go to 11 and 3 in the 25 and do that on both sides.
And those are more for like your immune system, if I remember.
Well, it helps on the supervisory level. But you think about it, 3, the birthplace of the mediator. It's our respiratory specialist. 11 helps to unload all excess baggage. 15 helps to open up all the circulation, helps to open up the heart, our whole circulatory process. And then 25 to quietly regenerate the body. And Mary showed this as the ultimate exhaling and inhaling. You could use this as the core of a self-help for the supervisor flow.
Okay, great.
Make it really simple for yourself and easy.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you bet.
So it's coming up to 10 minutes to the hour. Did you want to talk about any upcoming classes that you're hosting, presenting, attending?
Well, the next class I'm going to be doing is with Debbie. We're going to do a simply self-help. And we're going to be looking at spleen, stomach, bladder, the 3 general daily sequences. We've done each one individually, and now we're going to do the 3 together and how it helps first depth and fourth depth and why you want to use those 3 on a daily basis. So we're going to be looking at those 3 flows in combination.
Is that your Wednesday self-help?
Is it a what?
The Wednesday self-help?
It will be, yes, on a Wednesday, and it'll be in the evening at 6 p.m.
Right, that's your regular monthly self-help.
I do it monthly.
Yeah. I was looking on the Inc. website. I didn't see any ads for anything new there. I don't know why. And I looked on the Spirit, Mind, Body as well, and I didn't see much there that I could
I've got classes in Switzerland, Germany, and Austria scheduled so far, and I haven't scheduled much in the US yet. But Kelly and I are probably going to be doing a self-help class in February. I have lots of things upcoming, but I just haven't gotten the ads out yet.
Oh, okay, good, yeah. So let me think about this. The upcoming class that I'm aware of, partly because I'm hosting it, is one with Kelly and Susie Plattner. Let me see if I can bring that up.
Oh, yes, the webinar. The two of them are going to.
Yes. Where is it? Huh. For some reason, it hasn't come up. That's weird. Well, anyway, I think coming up next Saturday, not this Saturday, the following Saturday. Let me see if I can find it on the.
I can check on my phone too.
Yes, it's called Harmonizing the Exhale and Inhale Aspects of Generation and Regeneration with Susie and Kelly. But for some reason, I cannot show it at the moment.
Oh, let me make, can you click share screen?
Yeah, I did, and it doesn't show up.
Oh.
Yeah, which is weird. But so, anyway, if you can get it to work, that's great. But that'll be coming next Saturday at 2 o'clock New York time. And you can register for that. I think the ad is certainly on the Facebook page for JIN SHIN Inc. And you'll be getting emails about that too. So it's 11:52.
Oh, and Debbie just put a note in the chat bar, November 16th for some Sarah Simply Self-Help.
There you go, November the 16th. So what do you want to do now, Sarah?
Oh, we got 5 minutes.
At least.
All right. Well then, I'm going to share my screen.
There you go. Beautiful. That's great. Yeah. I love it.
Well, hold on. I'm getting to the spleen flow.
Oh, it's pretty earthy. It's actually first and fourth. Wonderful.
Okay. Now, can you see something different up there?
I can,
Okay. So Steiner referred to the spleen as the most spiritual of organs in the human being. The spleen inspires a quality that connects a person as a spiritually creative being with the world. In the most intense and inward warmth, enthusiasm lifts a person out of the heavy mass of the body, and it is the spirit that builds the body. So when I think about it being the solar energy battery of the body and the inner warmth, and I also think about the spleen as being our keeper of rhythm in the body. It's the one that takes the blood and it sways it to wider circulation. And so when I think about it in that way, how do I radiate from within? And that has a relationship with the spleen. So our most inward warmth and our rhythm. And so the spleen takes over when we eat out of rhythm, when we do things out of rhythm or stay up way too late or, don't get the right amount of sleep. It's the spleen's job to keep us back into that rhythm, to help us, with our lifestyle and things that we've done to get out of rhythm, out of balance. The spleen flow will help us to get back into that rhythm.
Steiner. Interesting.
So the functions of the spleen, it governs transformation and transportation of food. And the spleen likes dryness, and the spleen is the one that keeps the blood in the vessels. So, you know, if you getting varicose veins or hemorrhaging, or, you know, you want to use the spleen flow, and it's in charge of holding the blood together. The spleen extracts food key from the food to nourish all the tissues in the body. And the spleen has a lifting effect along the midline of the body, making sure the organs are in their proper place. The spleen is said to be the residence of thought and influences our capacity for thinking, for studying, for concentrating, focusing, and memorizing. And the spleen governs the 4 limbs. So here's that part about it being a mysterious organ located just beneath the heart. And this organ receives the blood, it cradles it, and gently swaying it to wider circulation. It's a training center for the immune cells, where our blood gathers to develop its individual stamp of resilience. So the spleen is thought of as our mighty protector and harmonizer. And, oh, one more slide. Are you okay, time-wise?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
So the spleen is the largest of the lymph organs. So here's that picture right here. You can see the lymph system. I had it in the slide here, you know, that I pulled in my book out. And the spleen is the largest of that. And it's responsible for producing the red substance that becomes blood, and for providing the structural integrity to keep the blood in its banks. Sorry, our ability to engage and function in the world requires our 4 limbs, which gives our capacity to step into our lives and handle what we encounter. The spleen has a strong influence on the 4 limbs. So another way that the spleen has function, not only for the lymph, the immune, but keeping us in order.
Yeah.
Millions of germs known as bacteria and viruses lie in our body. They don't usually harm us because they cannot easily pass through our skin or in the acid in our stomach. However, if they do get past these barriers, an army of white cells is called to protect us. Most white cells are contained in the lymph tissue, such as the tonsils and spleen, as well as in our blood. There are several different types of white cells that make up the immune system. Most common are the polymorphs, which destroy the germs. So again, spleen flow. You can utilize the spleen flow any change of season, any time of day. It's going to be an amazing warrior for our immune. And I have one more slide I think I'll share. The principle of first step spleen is to transform and transport. Digestion and our anatomical association, the 4 limbs. Emotional, we say worry, obsession, but the virtue is empathy. The energetic vector, the organs of the earth element, the stomach and spleen balance each other. The stomach has a descending vector of energy and the spleen ascends. The earth is the only element that has this balanced, harmonizing effect in the body. So, and also I would add to the virtue, our capacity to be present, our capacity to show up. So that's what I would have to say also about the spleen.
Well, thank you. And as much as I don't want to put a healthy boundary around this presentation, we have come to our time. I just wanted to put a plug in. I don't know if most people were watching Beth Lendrum when she snuck in for me last week. But a little bird whispered in my ear that Sarah will be with us shortly. Is that right? With Beth?
With Beth.
Yes.
Yes, I'm gonna
Yes.
Beth Lendrum's.
Yes. So if any of you were on last week, I think Beth gave her details. I don't have them off the top of my head. I only just thought of it. I said, woo. But if you want to check out with Beth, folks, you might want to join us on Monday, and Sarah will be presenting, reinforcing, no doubt. And thank you, Sarah. It's been a great pleasure, as always. We didn't actually burst out laughing and fall over the place, which we often do, but nonetheless, it was very enriching, and I want to thank you. If you want to say anything now, say it, because I'm just going to pause or stop the recording. Anything to say?
Thank you. So good to see you guys.
Yeah, I'll stop the recording now, and then we'll have a gallery view. Here we go.
Okay. Gallery view, and everybody turn their cameras